Hello everyone, in this video we are going to go through Chrome Devtools sources panel. For this video I'm going to use this page extracted from one of my Bootstrap videos. If you need to learn more about Bootstrap, you can watch my videos and find the links in the description below. Now let me open the sources. You can open it from this More Actions button, More Tools, Developer Tools. The hard key is Ctrl-Shift-I. And here we have Sources panel. Sources panel has three main parts. This pane is a file navigator, then this is the code editor, and this pane is used for debugging JavaScript. In this page tab, you can view all of the files loaded with this URL. Let me show you. This is index, and in the editor you can also see the code. Then we have this JS folder, main.js, and then we have blog.css. You can also make changes to these files, but once you refresh the page, the changes will go away. Let me give you an example. Let's go to the main.js. Right now I'm going to type in here some code. Let's say I'm going to comment out hello world. I'm going to hit save, and now if you just have a look here. Now if I just refresh the page, you see the hello world is gone. But if you want to keep the changes saved, you will need to load the source files to the workspace, and here the file system comes in. You can add your sources folder. Just click on this add folder to the workspace and browse your source folder, or you can also browse your source folder and drag and drop it in here. You need to allow the browser to load your folder, and it's here. Now if I make changes, let me first show you my source folder, which is right in here, VS Code. If you need to learn more about VS Code, you can watch my video and find the links in the description below. Let me open the main.js. It's right here. And on line number 51, we don't have anything. Now, if I type in here, or comment out here again, hello world, and hit save and refresh the page, it is still there. And if I go back to my source file, it's also here. Alright, now let's move to, let's see what we have now. Alright, content scripts, snippets. Yes. If you find yourself running the same code in the console repeatedly, consider saving the code as a snippet instead. Let's say you want to log the current URL, this URL, in the console. Let's say, let me clear the console and type in here the code. Function. The name of the function would be get URL, parenthesis, params, and I'm gonna give here a couple of braces and go to the next line and type in here, let's say URL equals window dot location dot href. Then go to the next line and type in here console dot log. I'm gonna log here this variable. Paste in here, and then I'm gonna call this function. Simply type get URL and parentheses. By the way, these are all JavaScript. If you need to learn more about JavaScript, you can watch my videos and find the links in the description below. And if I hit enter, I get this URL in the console as a log message. So if you are using this code repeatedly, you can save this code as a snippet. Let me copy this code. Let's go back to Sources tab, and I'm gonna add new snippet here. I'm gonna name my snippet as get URL. Enter and type the code in here. I'm gonna paste it, hit save, and you can run this snippet. Just right click on it and hit run. Let me clear the console first. You can also run the snippet with the controller command, enter, and there you go. You can use this snippet to any of the tab. Let's say if I go to google.com. Alright. Now let's go to the Sources tab. And if I run this snippet here, it gives me this URL. Now let's move to this debugging section. Let me close the console now. And here we have several buttons and various drop downs. We'll go through all of them one by one. For this demonstration, we'll need main.js. Let me close these files. And let's start with the breakpoints. Breakpoints can help you find and fix bugs. With a breakpoint, you can pause your code in the middle of its execution and examine all values at that moment in time. To create a breakpoint, simply click on any of the line. And you can remove these breakpoints. Just click on these breakpoints again, and they just go away. Now, if I let me close the Google and go back to our page, and let me close blog, index, get URL. We'll need this main.js. Close the console, and I'm gonna set breakpoint here. And if I run the code now, it stops here. And you can step over next function call with this button. And if you need to go into this function, append message, you can go with this step into next function call, and you can come out of this function with this button, step out of current function, or you can go to the next line with this step button. And with this button, you can deactivate breakpoints. And then let's go to, let me close them now. Here we have a watch drop down. Here you can watch expressions. Let's say if I want to check the value of this variable over time, I can do this by, let me remove this breakpoint and add it here, and add my variable. Just click this plus button and type in here watch, select the suggestion, hit enter. Right now the value of watch var is full, and if I go to the next line, it's nothing. Let me resume it again. The value of the watch bar is nothing now. If you move forward, it's full. Now it's bar. Again, it's nothing. And then we have this breakpoints drop down. You can view all of your breakpoints here in this drop down. And then we have this scope drop down. Here you can see your local variables as well as your global ones. And then we have call stack. Call stack is actually, let me close this call. And right now I'm standing at this function, print message. It's right here. And we call this function from this function, on click called my function called print message. And then we have XML breakpoints, XHR, XML HTTP request breakpoints, DOM breakpoints, global and event listener breakpoints. And from here you can also add breakpoints on various events. Let's say on mouse, click, double click, mouse down, mouse up, and so on. And that ends the video here. Thank you for watching and see you next time.